Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ. It's Wednesday, April 8th, and it's a few days before Resurrection Day, this coming Sunday, and just a couple of days before Good Friday. And today we're going to be reading a passage from Mark 14, verses 1 through 11. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him. For they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be an uproar from the people." And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining at table, a woman came with an alabaster flask of ointment of pure nard, very costly, and she broke the flask and poured it over his head. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, "Why was this ointment wasted like that? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor." And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a beautiful thing for me. For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do good for them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her." Then Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money, and he sought an opportunity to betray him. It's a real beautiful passage that we have here with Mark. New Testament scholars call this passage a Markan sandwich. It's where you have two different stories, and they are contrasted because one is embedded within the other. If you look at these similar stories in Luke, from Luke 7 and Luke 22, you see that the woman is very similar to the woman that we see at Simon the leper's house. And Simon the leper is a Pharisee who's invited Jesus in, and Jesus is having dinner at his house. And when the woman comes and does this, Simon says in his heart, if Jesus was truly a prophet, he would know who this woman was. And so the idea here is that the woman is not worthy of Jesus. And we see the contrast that Mark is pointing out with the Pharisees who are trying to kill Jesus. They are sparing no expense to kill him, while the woman is sparing no expense to lavish her love and appreciation on him, even though she's not worthy. And that's one of the beautiful things about this passage, is that 2 days before the Passover, we see Mark showing us an example of an unworthy person who loves Christ, and worthy people who think that they're too good for Christ, that they really don't need Christ at all. In fact, they're just quite fine, thank you very much. And in our lives, as we walk through Resurrection Day on Sunday, and as we walk through Good Friday, we should probably keep in mind that there are two types of people in this world: those who are worthy and those who are unworthy. And those who are worthy are probably thinking that they're too good and that they really don't need Christ. And those who are unworthy and are sinful and recognize their sin and what Christ has done in his work. This woman's recognizing it before Christ has even died on the cross, that Jesus is her all in all, and she takes her most inexpressible gift of love and gives it to Christ because she recognizes that that's what Christ has done for her. The Lord bless you as you walk through Resurrection Week.